The Daffin's candy-making operations have been an evolving success story ever since Paul Pete Daffin started the business in a two-car garage in 1948. In 1952, he married the former Jean Costello, and a great partnership began. With nearly 100 years of experience and 4 generations in the art of fine chocolate, the Daffin name is renowned in the candy world. Both sides of Pete Daffin's family were very successful confectioners. Pete's grandfather, George Daffin, and father, Alec Daffin, opened the original Daffin's Fine Confectionery around 1903 in Woodsfield, Ohio. Through the years, George and Alec moved the candy store to New Philadelphia and then Canton, Ohio. At the same time, in the early 1900s, Pete's uncle, George Kachulis, also had an ice cream and confection store here in Sharon. When George moved Pete's grandmother, mother, and sisters to Sharon after the war, it was only natural that when Pete was discharged from military service, he would come to Sharon and start a business. Their first store on Washington Street was part of an expansion of the Daffin homestead, as they converted the bottom part of their home into the store and lived happily above it. When downtown Sharon was slated for redevelopment in 1975, Daffin's Candies was forced to relocate to their current location on State Street. In 1980, a 20,000 square foot manufacturing facility was built in Farrell. With 3 expansions now, the manufacturing facility now totals 54,000 square feet. Jean and Pete were blessed with their daughter Diane, and she, like her father, had chocolate in her blood. Pete was a visionary with an infectious personality. As with any couple, Jean's quiet genius was the perfect complement to Pete's gregarious personality as she took charge of the day-to-day financial operations of the business. Diane was the perfect combination of them both and continued her father's vision with the ever-present guidance and support of Jean. From their modest beginning in a garage to the 20,000 square foot store, the Daffin family has stayed true to their tenets of business, high quality, and outstanding service. In addition to the flagship store in Sharon, Daffin's Candies have locations in Greenville, Niles, Farrell, and Franklin, and operate wholesale, fundraising, and candy bar divisions. Daffin's Candies and the Daffin family always give back to the community without hesitation. Daffin's Candy Bar division alone has provided many local schools, churches, and nonprofit organizations with millions of dollars as using their candy bars as their fundraiser. Every candy bar that the organization sells, 50% of the selling price is kept by the organization. Over the past 25 years, this has amounted to over $25 million. Also, an Easter egg hunt held on the Saturday before Palm Sunday in Buell Park is funded exclusively by Daffin's Candies and was one of Diane's favorite events. Because they also believed in higher education, the Daffin family established 2 scholarship funds at Penn State Shenango. Mr. Daffin was an Army veteran of World War II, having served with the 5th Army 82nd Airborne Division as a forward observer. Some honors for the Daffin family include the Lions Club Distinguished Service Award, as well as a Melvin Jones Fellow, a Certificate of Merit and Scholarship Fund with the International Order of the AHEPA, the Board of Directors of the Retail Confectioners Association, and the 1992 Regional Retailer of the Year, the William Connect Tourism Award, the 2006 Chamber of Commerce Phoenix Award, Sharon Rotary's John Fabian Award, and a Rotary International Paul Fellow.
My name's Bernie Sigler. I'm here today to talk about some of the fondest memories of the Daffin family. Spending time at the lake, I was there yesterday. I heard nothing but laughter. I heard Pete yelling, "Jean, Diane, I need more hot dogs, more hamburgers." And I said to myself, they taught me a wonderful work ethic as working as a team. I was treated as a son and a brother by the family. And the biggest thing that I learned from the Daffins is how much happiness it was on giving back. That is the biggest thing I learned. I've made it to Costa Rica 4 times now, and there's a saying down there. It's called Pura Vida. It means the pure life. There was no family that had more pureness than the Daffins family. I can understand why Uncle Pete thought about going to Costa Rica one time and opening up a cocoa plantation. They greet you, they want to make you happy, and that's all the Daffins ever did. They did it for the community, whether you were a stranger, whether you were a family or a friend. They did nothing but give happiness. And I can understand why they have candy is happiness. I think candy is happiness, Pura Vida. Pura Vida is happiness. And that's the biggest and fondest thing that I can remember about the Daffins. is their kindness and generosity and willing to give back. And that is something that I have learned. I miss you very much. Thank you.
I have the privilege today to say something about three important people that were in my family. Through these three people, I learned about family, love, compassion, chocolate. The three I'm speaking of are my Uncle Pete, my Aunt Jean, my cousin Diane Daffin. Separately, each holds a special part in my heart. I could go on days about these three, but I'm going to briefly touch on each of these amazing people. First, there was Pete Daffin. Part of my childhood was spent watching him make chocolate in his home while babysitting me. When I think of him, I think larger-than-life personality that warmed the hearts of everyone he encountered. I learned the value of family from this man by watching how he took care of his family. Anyone that ever came to visit his lake house in Pymatuming during the summer months can attest to how much joy he took in spending with family and making sure they were always entertained. He was a pillar in the community and a friend to everyone. Now behind every great man is a great woman. This is where my Aunt Jean comes in. She shared the same loving values that Pete did, but expressed it in a quieter way. I had the privilege to work with her in the office of Daffin's. This gave us the opportunity to learn even more about each other and the opportunity for our already strong relationship to grow. From the office to the multiple candy convention, her quiet, loving demeanor always filled me and everyone around her with joy. Finally, when these two people like this have a child, get someone special as my cousin Diane. It seemed that God combined all my aunt and uncle's special quality into this wonderful woman. I smile every time I think of her. She was a real chocolate diva. Growing up with her and working together, we learned from each other. The most important lessons I learned from her was how to deal with adversity in life and how to use adversity to bring out the value in living life. In conclusion, this is just a small snapshot of these three wonderful people. I could go on for days reflecting how much they've meant to me, my family, and the community. They were three individuals with three beautiful personalities. Spending time with them and growing as a family is a gift I will cherish for the rest of my life.
Working in this family business for over 40 years has been a true blessing. And during that time, Pete, Jean, and Diane taught us so many valuable lessons, not only about the business, but also life. When it came to the business, they stressed that our customers are the reason we're able to come to work every day and do what we love. And if we continue to meet or exceed their expectations, then the business has a way of taking care of itself. But I think the more important lesson was watching how my aunt and uncle lived their lives with such humility and kindness. And when Diane was diagnosed with ALS, she showed me what it meant to live life with courage and passion, and that'll stay with me and everyone who knew and loved Diane going forward.
I began working for the Daffin family when I was 16 years old. Little did I know that 52 years later I would still be part of this wonderful family business. As a young employee, I quickly realized what a strong entrepreneur Mr. Daffin was. He was so willing to share his vision and passion with those around him. He took me under his wings and taught me so much about the chocolate industry, as well as hard work and professional discipline. He was such a visionary, and each day he exhibited his passion for his business and commitment to his community. Mrs. Daffin was an extraordinary businesswoman, and as the years went by, she played a huge role in my growth within their company. Her quiet yet strong guidance and support was felt by all of those around her. Diane and I had such a wonderful relationship. I truly felt that I was part of their extended family. Every year we would travel together to the chocolate conventions, and the memories I have from all of those trips are forever etched in my mind. We loved working side by side during each and every holiday at the store. The one thing they all had in common and instilled in me was love for their community and giving back to people. We had so much fun each and every year raising money for countless organizations such as the March of Dimes, the Heart Walk, and especially the event closest to Diane's heart, her golf scramble. I learned so much from each of them individually over the years. They were passionate, kind, and hardworking contributors to our community. I miss them each and every day, and I'm so grateful to have known them and proud that their legacy of their business and community efforts will continue on through those of us who love them.